So what is going on, guys? It's Triple G here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about Arc Raiders, which is a new extraction shooter that's in a tech test right now, but it's actually quite exceptional. So if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. Join me over on Twitch or YouTube as I stream 6 times a week, and otherwise let's get straight into this video. So I'll be completely honest, 2 days ago I never even heard of this game, and then all of a sudden we get emailed to say, would you like to play the tech test? And here we are. Now if you're not a fan of third person, then don't let that put you off, because the other things that surround this game are just truly incredible. So let's talk about the game and the aesthetics first of all. So it's set in a post-apocalyptic world where the AI and the robots have taken over the world, which does kind of fit in with the kind of theme that a post-apocalyptic settings are set now. Figure, you know, the Matrix / Terminators, that kind of feel. Now, the one thing that makes this stand out from the crowd is obviously aesthetics. The game itself is visually very, very beautiful. The sound is absolutely out of this world. And then the one thing that I think that really makes this step up is the AI themselves are truly terrifying. You cannot just walk up to an individual AI robot and think that you've got it completely smashed. Even the smaller robots cause you some level of distress. And of course, anything that you do in this game means sound. And sound is bad for you because that will obviously attract other players. Now, as for the player count, it looks to be about 18 players that are in a 30-minute war. However, that doesn't mean that when you deploy, you go in at the start. You can go into what looks like a very persistent world, depending on how many players have left that world as well, which should in essence speed up the matchmaking. So first of all, let's talk about the gameplay. Now obviously this is a third-person shooter. We've mentioned that there is no option for you to go into first person. However, I really like that because you get to look at your character and you get to see around corners, that kind of thing, and it really just gives it a unique sense of style. Now the gameplay itself, obviously these are weapons that are put together with parts, so you're not going to see really polished guns here. This is proper scrap guns put together, which really fits in with the theme of the game. The nice and simplistic thing about this game is every time you see a human, unless it's your teammate, it has to be an enemy. And we have proximity chat here, so there is the option for you to talk your way out of certain situations. There is a down but not out system. However, once you are fully killed, you are out of the game completely and your teammates cannot revive you. Now the game is in its technical test right now, and it has multiple maps in the technical test and these night raid timers as well, which does give it that little level of diversity as the loot is moved around the maps depending on which map you go. When you open the map, you will see that there are different areas that are labeled for different types of loot. So the red areas being the areas that you will get the best loot. However, that's probably the area that you will run into the most players. Another thing that I really like about this game is that there is a free loadout option that you can do every other raid, so that you can go in and not worry about losing your gear, specifically because all that gear was given to you for free. That doesn't have a certain timer in it, so you can get into a raid, whether it's solo or with Phil, at whatever time the game has decided to matchmake you, and you can get huge come-ups from that. The downside of the free loadout is that you don't get a secured container, but that's the kind of payoff and risk reward of taking a free kit. So the gameplay is fantastic, but let's talk about the UI and what I think is the most important, which is the depth in the game. So on the front screen, obviously you're greeted with this front screen here. You have challenges on the left hand side, which are tied to the battle pass, and then you have quests underneath that. These quests are quite simple as you go in. You know, this one, for example, is just ping a certain enemy type, but these quests reward you with XP, which helps you level up. And what makes this different to other extraction shooters right now is we actually have a skill tree, which do make a significant difference to your playstyle, which is really, really nice as well. And I actually really like the aesthetic of this as well. In addition to skill trees, there is a mastery system as well, which will always reward you with points as well, which is really, really nice. Then it's over to the workshop, where you have a trusty rooster, which will actually just kind of passively get you stuff for a while, just to help you keep progressing, keep making ammo, keep making shields and that kind of thing. And then of course you have your workbenches here, where you can craft what this is essentially. It gives you bigger backpack space in an augment. Then there's weapon benches, med stations, utilities and the likes. There is also traders here, where you can select the gun shop, for example, and go in. You can just buy a specific gun if you have the credits, as well as grenades, clinics, and the old normal stuff that you expect to see. They have showed off the battle pass in the tech test, and it's very similar to Helldivers here, where you need to go through a screen to go to the next one. And there are 3 things in here in terms of cosmetics. And of course, when you go to character customization here at the bottom, you can select these skins here for the credits, which you do earn from just doing the challenges as well. So it is a free way for you to earn some of the really nice cosmetics. The final thing I'll say about the UI is it is really simple, but in a good way. If you look at the right hand side here, we have the safe pocket. So that's the secured container, quick use for your medical items and grenades. Here's your backpack. Then on the left hand side down the screen here, it's really simple. You can select through your augments. So very quickly, you can start bringing in items that make significant differences to you. So this has obviously increased my backpack space, but reduced my safe security container by 1, which is a really nice payoff. In addition to that as well, when you're looting enemies, gun slots can just go in 1 item, but just beware that that will increase your weight. So you might be able to get like 4 or 5 guns out, but you'll be extremely heavy. If you are finding yourself to be very successful, then you can increase your stash expansion. The first 2 expansions are used with in-game credits, and then the third one here, as you can see, is actually used with the Raider tokens, which we have been accruing by doing the challenges. Overall, I think this game has a real chance. It's cross-play, cross-save, out the gate. It is extremely fun. The sound and the gameplay is out of this world, and I really hope they have depth. My hope is that they will see the success, the tech test, and the positive feedback they have, and look for depth. When I talk about depth, I'm talking about why I would turn this game on and play every day. And that's not just for the battle pass and not just for the gameplay. I want to see depth, like in Tarkov, where you look for the Kappa case or for the Lightkeeper task. You want an end game mission, an end game thing that you can flex over other people to say, hey, I did the hardest thing in the game. That's the mountaintop, and I did it. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel, or join me over on Twitch as I stream 6 times a week, or over on YouTube. And I'll catch you on the flip.